今宵も人生の曲がり角を迎えた女子どもの不毛な戦いが繰り広げられる。
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Pull a Trigger on a Podcast, the podcast where everyone's going through a midlife crisis. I'm Fire Princess Lily and I am joined, as always, by my good friend, Dr. Sea Monster.
Hello, I am not a real doctor, but I am a real sea monster.
Yup. So, hey Doc, before we get into this, it's been a little while since we recorded. I mean, what's been going on, other than the world apparently ending?
I've just been pretty active on Magic Twitter, talking to other Magic players, because I can't play Magic in person. I went on a trip to visit my partner, which was great, except for the fact that due to the quarantining, I was alone with her and my in-laws for 2 weeks. That was fun. Her in-laws are actually pretty decent people, but being around them stresses her out. And when she's stressed out, we can't really... We don't have a lot of time to just decompress. Anyway,
Right.
enough of my personal life. We're here to talk about the personal lives of fictional characters, not
Yeah,
real
but
characters.
I mean, it's good to give the audience a bit of an update on what's going on. They haven't heard from us in a while. Personally, I have been working because I'm considered an essential employee. You'd think that'd come with hazard pay. It doesn't. Other than that, watching anime, watching Beaufry every week. It's my favorite show this season. It's real good. Check it out if you haven't. It's called Beaufry. I didn't want to take any damage, so I maxed out my defense. And it's really good. I think maybe I even talked about this before. I don't know. I have so many podcasts.
I watched 3 of Castlevania, and that was absolutely fantastic.
Nice.
Okay, I know this is not a Castlevania podcast, but I want to say one thing real quick. The show doesn't include a ton of monsters from the games. It doesn't include a ton of bosses that are recognizably from the games. It mostly has human characters from the games. But when it does feature a monster or a boss from the games, it's a massive treat. And my very favorite boss was in this season, and it made me so happy. There was this moment. It's like, wait, is this what I think it is? Is this what I think it is? And then it was, and I was so fucking thrilled. And
nice.
It was great. I love Castlevania Season 3. I love all of Castlevania. Warren Ellis is a genius. He's from that same school of creators as Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Neil Gaiman. That movement of 80s English comic writers who kind of cut their teeth on 2000 AD and moved into Vertigo and mainstream comics in America.
Right.
Okay, this is a massive tangent that has nothing to do with anime.
I mean,
let's talk about it. Do you want to talk about anime?
I mean, I do. But speaking of Castlevania, like I said, this thing that we're reviewing today, Turning Girls. There's not a lot to review, so it's okay if we talk about other stuff. It's every episode is 5 minutes long, and there's only 6 of them.
Yes, there are 4 characters, and only one of them is relatable.
But speaking of Castlevania, I also watched Netflix's Glitch Text, which has an entire Castlevania-esque episode called Castlestein, and it's so good. It makes fun of all the bad dubbing and how it's a little tricky to get past I don't know, the first or second Castlevania, because you don't realize the trick that it's upside down to actually get through the game, etc. Blah blah blah. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. I will look into that. I also watched a few episodes of No Game No Life.
I haven't seen that.
Go in for isekai stuff, because it's very much nerd wish fulfillment. but I gotta
I mean,
say, the very specifically the gamer wish fulfillment in that show is really good.
oh, that's good.
It really just kind of pushed my buttons in the right way. Um, I am absolutely ready to be isekai'd out of the world that we are in right now. To go
Visit
be
me,
a,
Truck Senpai.
I would really love to go be a Magic Planeswalker at this point.
Let's just,
I am
yeah.
absolutely down to become a Planeswalker. Just suck me right out of this fucking mud ball into a place with like dragons and fireballs. I will adapt.
Nice. Oh, and wrestling. Wrestling has been good. I've been watching a lot of wrestling, which I think is apparent through my Twitter, is that I'm just watching that wrestling. Um, Also, I don't know who listens to this podcast. I know we have 3 subscribers, and I think you're one of them. So we have 2 subscribers. And if either of those subscribers are listening to that Jim Cornette podcast about wrestling, man, that dude is fucking miserable. And I feel sorry for him. Absolutely. Like, fuck that guy. Like, let me, on a tangent here. Jim Cornette, he used to be in, big in wrestling, and I mean he still kind of is. Like, he's a well-known name. Started in like southern background wrestling, etc. And like he likes to complain about when wrestling is kind of silly, which he has no fucking like leg to stand on. Motherfucker wrestled a Ninja Turtle on WCW. Like, eat shit, dude. Like, take a good hard look at yourself and the shit you did, and stop pretending that you didn't do like weird, wacky, goofy shit and try to sell it as like fucking serious, because you did. So I don't know, get fucked. And while we're on the subject of wrestling fans who should get fucked, Matt Hardy, you guys wanted him to come to AEW, you begged him to come to AEW, and he told you the whole time that he was going to bring back his broken gimmick, and that's what he wanted to do, and that's who he was going to be, and now you want to complain that he's in AEW doing the broken gimmick? This is what you fucking signed up for. Like, I'm loving it because I like goofy shit to begin with, but like, if that is not what you wanted, I don't know, if you wanted first era Team Extreme Matt Hardy Boys, why'd you even want him out of the WWE? Because that's all they were doing with him. I mean, yeah, sure, they were burying him like badly, but at least they were using him in the way that you think that he should be used in terms of character. So I don't know what you wanted or what you expected, but this is exactly what you were promised, and eat shit.
You tell him, Willie. I'm just sitting back here with my cup that has Dr. Pepper, literally nothing else. I swear, it's just pepper and no
rum, huh?
No name brand alcohol that has a coconut flavor added to it.
I don't know how Dr. Pepper and rum taste together. Sounds bad. But I tried that new Dr. Pepper flavor. What is it called? Dr. Pepper, I forget. It's a new one, and I was really hoping that it'd be good. It wasn't. I felt sad.
The Dr. Pepper cream soda is so bad.
That is it. That's what it is. Oh.
I love Dr. Pepper. I love cream. I love Dr. Pepper. I love cream soda. But somehow they managed to get everything that is bad about those two drinks
and put them together. None of the good stuff.
They didn't combine the good parts. They combined the bad parts. It's a miracle of fucking up. I'm going to be honest. I do like my coconut rum in my Dr. Pepper. I like coconut and Dr. Pepper together really well.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to Sonic, I always get coconut in my Dr. Pepper.
Huh. I get lemon in my Dr. Pepper. I think that's a really good flavor.
A friend of mine used to get watermelon, and he liked.
And what?
Watermelon in his Dr. Pepper?
Uh-huh. And I think Dr. Sea Monster is having some trouble. He keeps cutting in and out, so we'll see what happens here. You back? You good? Nope. We'll take a quick break, folks.
I don't want it to be on the mic.
Okay, you're rough. Okay, I see. I get it. Okay.
Off the mic to not make excess noise.
You hear the dogs, right? I mean, this is an apocalypse podcast. It's happening during the apocalypse. Things are going to happen. Okay.
We're a real Mickey Mouse operation.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we've complained about Dr. Pepper, Jim Cornette, who once again eats shit, dude. Like, there are wrestlers that I don't like, but I never wish that they like have such a bad accident that their brains spill out on the concrete outside the ring. Like, that takes some like real evil shit. Like, fuck you, dude. He's never gonna hear this, but it just feels good to say it. Fuck Jim Cornette.
It's fine. We're in the midst of a terrible crisis, but I think every person here, every person in the world who is going through the world as it is right now does have their coronavirus wish list.
Yeah.
I think we be honest about that.
I mean, if I could,
we all have our.
I'm not saying I would make a podcast just to say fuck Jim Cornette for like 30 minutes straight, but you know, it's a thought. Anyway, let's talk about Turning Girls.
Do you want to talk about anime?
Yes, let's finally talk about anime. The anime we're supposed to be talking about, because while Bofuri is good, and you should watch Bofuri. It's another isekai, sort of like Sword Art Online, but if Sword Art Online were good and cute. So, but once again, let's talk about the anime we're supposed to be talking about. We're talking about Turning Girls, which I should have this information pulled up. It was made by the female staff at Studio Trigger.
Apparently, the entire female staff, including like some of the janitorial staff.
Yeah, like they, it was made in 2013. That's what I was looking for. The summer of 2013, between their two big projects, which were the Little Witch Academia movie and Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill's next, and if you're waiting for Kill la Kill, oh boy, it's happening.
There are 7 5-minute episodes.
Are there 7 5-minute episodes? Oh, are we counting the little clip episode like its own thing?
Last episode is like 3 minutes long. Like a long musical number.
Yeah.
And credits for the entire.
Yeah. So, Turning Girls is a bit like Inferno Cop in that it has some kind of like thread connecting things, but mostly it's just a random show. It's a show about 4 women who are on the cusp of becoming 30, which, okay, mood.
We are both over 30.
I know.
It's not that bad. It's like,
not. But when you're approaching 30, you know, you're like, oh man.
Yeah, that's true.
30.
Because like one thing that is as different as the cultures tend to be, the one thing that is shared between anime, or sorry, not anime, between Japan and the Western world is that 30 is the cutoff point for when your life is over.
I mean, it's not really, but we all feel like it is. And after you're 30, you're like, oh man, 40 is going to come up soon, and that's going to be bad. And maybe 40 isn't the end either. If we even get to live to be 40 at this point. No, I'm sorry. Apocalypse.
I actually have friends who are a few years older than me. You know, they're in their, like when I met them, they were in their late 40s. They're into their 40s now. They're both cool. They're like the two people. They're both cool people. They're living their best lives. They're happy. They've got relationships. They've got friendships. They've got romantic relationships. They've got steady jobs. They're both doing fine. And honestly, just knowing them gives me a lot of reassurance that, you know, aging is not going to ruin your life. Literally, life goes on.
Well, yeah.
There is life after 30.
Of course,
there's life after 30. There's life after 30. There's life after 40.
Yeah, but 50, you might as well crawl into the grave. Just like right in.
Sure.
No, I'm kidding. So these girls are all friends basically because they work together. There's 3
girls that work with us and 1 girl who works in like a maid cafe who is friends with 3 for no reason she
does janitorial work in their office.
That's right. That is right. She does that.
So they're basically
there is
sorry, go on.
4 of them. One of them is a huge gaw. One of them is a terrible fujoshi. One of them sleeps around with married men, and then the 4th one is the only relatable character because she is just trying. Because like in the first episode, she seems super like an asshole. just kind of invading other people's space, trying to self-promote for no fucking reason. But the more you see of her, you realize this is just a side hustle, and she's just trying her best to get along in the world. And honestly, mood.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I did like the one episode that was basically her trying to get her fan stream going, and instead of oh my gosh, these dogs. Instead of like getting her count going high for what she wanted to do, she instead like has a breakdown, and everybody wants to see a breakdown.
Like her mother interrupts the stream twice,
Yeah,
which is very, again, very mood.
very mood.
Karu seems like a kind of a obnoxious idiot at first, but the more you see her on screen, the more she becomes literally the only relatable character to people of at least to people of our generation.
I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily true.
It's a shitty job and a side.
The tall goth girl, I mean, she's not actually that tall. She's like wearing stilts or whatever. I forget what her name is.
Kai.
Kai, that's it. She is my favorite character, even though I couldn't remember her name. Just because she's got a level of fanaticism to the things that she loves that I can relate to. Like, I just went on a big long rant about, Jim Cornette and people like him and how they can all eat shit. Like, I get it. I get that level of,
Like in the concert episode, she goes goth so hard that all the other goths are like adored with her, and she gets arrested. She gets
arrested.
She gets arrested twice. Once for gothing too hard, and the second time for like trying to harass the band after the concert.
Yes, I mean, I'm not saying that I would harass anybody, like, or anything like that, but I understand. Like, I get it. The only character that I feel like I have a problem connecting to is the airhead, whatever her name is. The one that's like, like when her friend, the Fujoshi, breaks her hand or whatever, and the two guys are coming to help, and she keeps distracting them, and eventually, they go off with her instead of like helping this person who's in pain and hurt. And I can't connect to that character, like, at all.
Okay, she definitely got spit roast by those two bisexual muscle men.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no doubt, absolutely. No. But like, I don't know. I just couldn't connect to her as a character. I didn't really connect to the Fujoshi either. That was like the episode that was specifically like about her in the office. That was the hardest one to sit through for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go off on a tangent.
Go for it.
The Fujoshi thing, like, she very much her deal is very much like the stereotypical anime pretty boys, bounce, with clashing personalities and whatever, and the twins with the incestuous relationship, and the hot and the cold running guy, and then the boss and the subordinate. Like, she has these three fantasies about just random mundane things in her world. But like, I think that there's a conversation to be had about gay porn, or like yaoi, made for straight women.
Yeah, I mean,
gay porn made for queer men, and like you can see this in American culture too, because like,
I mean,
like the gays, like the slash fics that straight women write is, and like slash and like the gay art that straight women make is very different from the art that queer men make for themselves. Like you can going back to like Tom of Finland even, which is very much like muscular, which is like very masculine, which is not quite hyper masculine, but is like muscular, robust men versus like effete feminine men. Now, that's not to say that gay men can't be interested in effete feminine men,
right?
But like, there's definitely a difference between the gay porn created by straight women and the gay porn created by queer men.
I think the gay porn created by queer men is like, from at least what I've seen, is way more horny than what the queer porn that straight women make for themselves. I like, and it's weirder. Like, I think that queer porn made by straight women, like gay porn made by straight women for straight women, is more straightforward. Like, it has like a direction, more or less. And I'm not saying that it's predictable. Is what I'm getting at.
It definitely focuses on the pretty boys, but it seems to be more about situations and character dynamics
Mhm.
that they find arousing versus just like beefcake.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is that, and there's definitely gay porn made by gay men that does focus on the dynamic of the bara and the twink. Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist or isn't there. I'm just saying that from what I've seen, it's mostly like, what kind of beefcake can I make, and am I going to do like like straight up bodybuilder beefcake, or am I going to do like chubby bear beefcake, because it's still beefcake regardless. Like, they still have, like, you can have, like, it's the difference between bodybuilders and actual strongmen is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Sure, they're both strong, but the body types are different, if that makes sense. Like, so, anyway, the Fujoshi episode, super, super hard to get through.
It's more, I hate to call anything cringe, but
no,
like,
it was super cringe. I
but I think it's on purpose. I think it's on purpose. I think it's definitely mocking the character.
Yes, it is absolutely mocking the character. I'm not saying it's not, or any.
Because one of the if you can say that there's overarching themes in this entire series of shorts, it's not. It's some things that don't quite translate well unless you're well aware of Japanese culture. Like, this whole thing is very much satirical on Japanese culture. It's satirical of office culture, satirical of Fujoshi, satirical of idol culture, satirical of a lot of things that don't translate well unless you're immersed in that stuff.
I think that all the characters themselves are extremes, and that their characters are dunking on those particular archetypes. I think that's what the whole show really is, while also taking a look at like getting older as a woman. These dogs, but I like, even though it was dunking on Fujoshi culture, like, I want to say, like, and like I said, I watched this like a couple weeks ago. I want to say that there was a part where she even like did like a whole like a Shota theme, and I was just like, if I wasn't doing this for a show, I would probably turn this off here and be cool, be totally cool.
That was definitely beyond over the line.
Yeah.
To like young twin boys and goes off onto this this weird fantasy. It's not. It is.
It is so bad.
Watch. Even if you've seen those tropes a lot in fiction, in anime, it still isn't. It doesn't. It's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Episode 6 is the live stream episode.
That one's possibly the best episode, next to the third episode with like the goth and the band. Like, those two episodes, I think, are the ones that I like the most. The live stream and the whole concert thing. In fact, I'm using, for our background, I'm using an image from that episode where she's goth all the way out. And
that's the majority of my thoughts. But I do want to talk about episode 7. Hold on a second.
The clip one?
Okay, no. Episode 5 is the live stream episode.
Okay.
Episode 6 is the episode that focuses on Nana and her birthday. Nana is the airhead, who is turning 30 in the episode, and like is fucking around, with a married man, and also,
I mean, we've been there. I mean, I've been there. Like,
Like, I think that the moral of episode 6 is that straight people are terrible.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's very much relationship dynamics. Like, it's Nana who is fucking around with a married man and like gets like a violent phone call from his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then her friends, the other three girls, are kind of like all trying to like undercut each other. It's like, okay, so she's in the hospital for like getting food poisoning or something,
Or
and the other
something.
three girls kind of undercutting each other. It's like, oh well, I'm a terrible person. I shouldn't have wished. I kind of didn't like her. This is kind of. I feel like I'm responsible for this because for such and such a reason that I didn't like her. And like they're being very self-effacing, but they're also being kind of catty about her and about Nana and Nana's bullshit.
Well,
And then like with the then the handsome doctor shows up and like wakes her up and is like, hey, you're hot. Do you want to date and also have a job now that you've been fired and dumped? But then as soon as he finds out that she's 30, he immediately like, no, the position has been filled and I have somewhere else to be. So not only do we have Nana fucking around
mm-hmm.
and being a terrible straight, her friends are being terrible straights, and then the doctor being terrible straights. The everything in episode 6 is just straight people are terrible.
I agree. I think that is absolutely the moral. I mean, it may not be the moral that they were trying to go for. If there is a moral that can be gauged from the show at all, but it's a lesson I'm willing to take away from it.
Like, not to get on. Okay, if you'll excuse, I mean, I'm going to avoid stepping on this box of box of soap to discuss queer issues, but it's things like this in media that kind of highlight the way straight people are shitty to each other. That kind of make me glad that I only have to deal with the way that queer people are shitty to each other, which is not necessarily better. It's just different, and you handle it in a different way.
Right.
I'm very talkative. Can you tell I've had a bunch of rum?
Yes.
Sorry. We're in the grip of a global pandemic, and I needed something to take the edge off. But I think that most of my points have been pretty cogent, and I'm not just rambling.
Yeah, no, your points have been good.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the dogs barking. I cannot control that. They're very talkative. But yeah, that's Turning Girls in a nutshell. The last episode is a clip episode where they basically give out awards for like the best this, the most popular that, and even Kaoru's mother wins an award over her. Like every time it looks like she might win an award, they pivot to somebody else, and it's pretty great, to be honest.
I want to talk about Karu's live stream real quick.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
So when she does her live stream, you have like comments scrolling across the screen of like her fans and her followers, just kind of like not necessarily shit talking her, but they're just kind of like making random comments. In Japan, I don't know if they still use this at all, but at the time, like in the 2000s and some of the 2010s, they had a website called Nico Nico Doga,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of like their YouTube. So you could post videos on there. They could also like stream on there, and comments you made on the videos would actually scroll across the screen like that. They actually would. So comments would actually would scroll across the screen like that.
Right.
And you'll actually see this occasionally in media of the time. But yeah, like the comments actually literally pop up on the screen. I managed to catch those while
Sort of
and
like
read
when
them.
you're doing an Instagram live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can read those while they're going by, it does give you some additional texture to the Karu, like the Karu focused episode. You get to see what people's opinion of her is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see like her fan base, because like there's definitely, because like you get like a mixed bag of those comments, because like there's the people who just like her and think she's
Right.
cool, but the people who are like stalking her from her real life, and the people who like the people who are like trying to troll her and shitpost, and those comments add a lot to the episode. And it's definitely, if you're going to watch Turning Girls, make sure you pay attention to the comments scrolling across the screen in episode
5.
I guess your episode is episode 5, because you'll miss a lot of like context for her and her life.
Yeah.
Overall, I did have a lot of fun watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little dense and impenetrable if you're not already familiar with things about Japanese culture, like idol culture and fujoshi and the office work culture they have. If you're not already at least basically familiar with this, a lot of the jokes are going to be kind of impenetrable.
A little, yeah.
But if you have if you do have enough of that background, you'll be able to kind of follow along with what's going on.
I think that anybody who would listen to this podcast would have some level of understanding of that stuff.
It's true. I mean, I would assume so. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything we could cover for Turning Girls. Because there's not a lot of it.
It's fun. I certainly don't regret that I watched it.
I only regret the Fujoshi episode. That's it. I'm sorry.
But I got to get up my queer soapbox and rant about stuff for it. So I think that
very true.
In case our viewership doesn't notice, we are both very queer.
Yes. But yeah. So that's it, everybody. Good job. Good podcast. We managed to turn this into a 30-minute podcast. Basically on a show that had 30 minutes of content about.
That's about right, yes. That's about right.
So, yeah, I feel good about that. Next time, we get started on Kill la Kill, which is one of my favorite animes of all time.
It might not be my all-time favorite, because there's shows I got like nostalgia for.
It's in my top 10.
Things that maybe resonated with me personally more, but Kill la Kill is definitely one of my absolute favorites, and I have watched it a bunch of times. I've actually been listening to a lot of remixes of songs from Kill la Kill lately.
Huh. Oh, speaking of songs, the best part of Turning Girls, to be honest, is the closing theme. That theme is awesome. I love it. It's very somber. You'll hear it at the end of this podcast, so I mean, listen for that. But if I'm going to praise one thing for sure about this anime, is that they really chose a great ending theme. That theme's great.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a quick comment. There's a great YouTube channel called Triple Q.
Mm-hmm.
They do remixes and mashups of different songs. Mixing, matching like anime and pop and all kind and American pop and American metal and all kinds of things, completely random things. But every single one of them is an absolute fucking bop, and I love them. And there's like a dozen that I listen to almost on a daily basis. And one of the things that they've done heavily is they've done mashups with Kill la Kill soundtrack songs, and those are all excellent. Again, that's Triple Q on YouTube.
All right. Is that 3 Qs or the word triple and then Q?
The word triple and then Q.
Okay. So, next week we're starting Kill la Kill, and we are going to do that episode by episode, because that is the best way to do an episodic anime that actually has content.
Yeah, so we're going to an anime that is like an ongoing anime with a plot. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I mean, the plot's a little weird, but yeah. And then I don't know what comes after that, but we don't have to worry about that for basically half a year.
I can't wait to give my big dissertation about my opinion, my theory for Kill la Kill and its character archetypes. Everyone look forward to that. Everyone look forward to that. When the time is right, I will spring it on you, and it'll blow your mind.
So, Dr. Sea Monster, where can people find you online if they want to talk stuff or see what you're doing?
You can absolutely find me on Twitter. I'm there way too often. I'm at Dr. Sea Monster. That is at DRC Monster. For shit posts, Magic the Gathering, and social justice.
Yeah. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at DatFirePrincess, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on the numerous podcasts I do. I do a ton of podcasts, although with the world sort of burning, this is the first podcast I've done in like a week. So, we're going to try it.
I'm even on one of the other podcasts. We have this great. We started this great one for Gravity Falls, and I have high hopes for it because Gravity Falls is a great show, and it definitely deserves some commentary.
That's right. It's called Pining for the Falls. So if you're subscribed to this, subscribe to that. I mean, is it the first Gravity Falls podcast ever out there? No. Is it the best one?
Also,
probably not. But hey, it's there. It's giving you content, and you know what? In these trying times, we could all use more content. You can also find me, just like I said, podcasts, YouTube, etc. Hopefully, some of these podcasts are going to survive the apocalypse, because I think one of my hosts is sick with something, and I'm super scared. So
I think we're good. We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna go. So until next time, just I don't know, watch anime. I don't think we ever concreted a ending for this.
Bye. I love you all.
Bye.
Oh, I need a lover. The turning points will come to me soon. So I need a lover. I need you to come back to me. Rochelle, oh yeah, my gosh. Where did I hide my angel shine? Oh, I need a lover. And you come back to